Good morning, friends. I hope this finds you healthy, happy, excited, giddy. It is Friday. It's Friday, and the weekend is upon us. Just finishing off my coffee here. I hope you can bear with me a little bit today. I was talking with my youngest there, and he's also struggled with some concussion symptoms, some head trauma stuff from his years of heavy contact sports. Not that that's what happened to me, but the experience is very similar, and he was pointing out that he's not surprised I've been struggling because here I am in front of these bright lights and bright screens and spending all this time in front of media and screen time and stuff, so it's definitely catching up with me. And today is definitely a rough one, probably the roughest one I've had yet. I want to take a day off. I want to get to the point where I can kind of have a filming day and then schedule posts and stuff like that, so I can continue to kind of grind away at the daily content, if you will, but just haven't got there yet, and I don't want to give up. I don't. It's a grind. It's a definite grind for sure, but here I am, and I want to keep pushing through. So I got this one out here today. I'm gonna thank you ahead of time for being patient with me, and see where we go. Tomorrow's another day. So the question I saw yesterday as I was posting really jumped out at me, and I thought, man, oh man, what a great opportunity to chat a little bit about this one. The question was, maybe not a question, but what's your relationship with your family like in sobriety? That's the question. What's the relationship with your family like now that you've gotten sober? Mine was short and sweet. I have one. Before I was sober, nothing. Got sober, I now have a relationship with family. It's that short and sweet for me. Obviously, if you start pulling at threads, I mean, I can dig a little deeper for you, and I can express to you the reality that while the relationship with my siblings certainly isn't what I would want it to be, particularly for me, as witnessed by my wife and my children, I have always imagined that I might one day have a very close, intimate relationship with my sisters, with my siblings, and that to this day has never really come to fruition. And it's not a finger pointing thing. I don't think any of us are really built or currently possess the skill set to enjoy something like that. I know my sisters themselves, probably as a means to an end, certainly have a far more intimate relationship amongst the four of them than they share with me. Obviously, geography lends to that challenge as well. I'm the one kid in the family who moved away. You know, it's a 2.5-hour trip down the highway to reconnect with each other, so that's presented a lot of its challenges. And I'm not a big phone guy. I'm not a guy who just picks up a phone and makes a phone call and does that kind of stuff. I'm just not. I've tried to be. I've made the attempt. Letter writing becomes a monster all by itself, and that's never been positive for anybody. So whatever attempts have been made have typically fallen short. Having said that, I can certainly reach out to a sibling today, and that wasn't necessarily something that existed before. I will typically get a pretty good response, when I do reach out to a sibling. And again, that's something that didn't exist before. Depending on which sibling it is, I can count on a pretty healthy, happy, loving conversation. The kids just recently released some music, and I was able to connect with one sibling to kind of do some proofreading, listening, if you will, just to kind of have that extra outside ear to say, hey man, would love to connect with you about these songs, so it was great to do that, and then to in turn put that sibling in touch with the kids to say, hey man, share your thoughts and ideas. Like, it's not Christmas dinner with the family, but it's a relationship that certainly didn't exist before sobriety. With outside family, other extended family, there are members of my family that I've enjoyed wonderful, loving relationships with since I got sober. Some of them have since passed on, but previous to that, I was able to thoroughly enjoy their counsel, their love, their support and encouragement. My children had wonderful relationships with some of my family since coming into sobriety. Specific to my siblings, I would say that the relationship my children have with them is second to none. There's a great deal of love and connection between my children and their aunts and uncles to that end. So that's all come since sobriety. My mother specifically, she's passed now, but the relationship that I enjoyed with her before sobriety was very toxic. After sobriety, that grew and blossomed into a very loving and mutually respectful relationship. I was able to connect with my mother very deeply insofar as being the wife to my father. She was able to guide and direct me in many ways early on in my recovery. Her own activity in Al-Anon allowed her to kind of treat me with kid gloves where others didn't necessarily see the benefit of that. She definitely guided me and provided me a very stable platform to start from. So that is something I will be forever grateful for, that I was able to have that time and enjoy that time. And before she left us, my mother was able to see her son, in a far more healthy light, and by extension, see me as a husband and a father. So that was remarkable. So, I mean, what kind of relationship do you have with your family in sobriety? I have one. More specific to my own family, to my wife, to my children, the person I've become in sobriety, I'm a brutally honest man. I really am. And right, wrong, or indifferent, that's who I am. I've said it in other videos. You can't get curveballs past me. You just can't. I smell bullshit from 10 miles away, and I cannot have it in my life. I can't. I was so relentlessly, purposefully full of shit when I was in sobriety that I just cannot tolerate it in my life today. I can't. So when it's around me, I smell it and I call it out for what it is. To that end, my immediate family, my wife and my children, are some of the most patient, loving, understanding, nurturing, and encouraging people I have ever had the pleasure to call my own. Just the other night, we had a bit of a guy's moment. Excuse me. My wife called it that anyways. So, as I've discussed in other videos, we have a member of the family that's had some struggles this last little while. And some of those things kind of came to a head, and we sat down and we banged it out. We did. we knocked it out of the park, and the four of us, the three sons and myself, just cleared the air. And a lot came out of that. A lot came out of it. A lot of healthy stuff, I'm sure. One of those things was specific to me in that I was called out for some stuff. And one can appreciate that in a different time, a father rules with an iron fist, and you do what I say, not what I, not necessarily what I do, and that's that, and my word's the final word. And that's just not how it is here. As much as I call out bullshit, I respond to it when I'm called out. I thrive on that. I need to. I absolutely need to, and I'm very open about that. I've been very vocal about that. So, when my three sons call me out on a couple of things specifically, I'm not fighting that. I'm not beating anybody up about it. I'm taking it. I'm shutting my mouth. And I'm saying basically nothing. I expressed gratitude in that moment to be called out, and I was very thankful. I follow up the next day, and I recognized that one of my children had forgotten his glasses here at home. So, here we are again. Step 10, continue to take personal inventory. In that moment, I recognized an opportunity to hop in the van, bring him his glasses, and take that chance, take that time, take that opportunity to put my arms around him and say thank you. To say thank you to that young man for having the patience and the courage to call me out, and that I will endeavor absolutely to be a better version of me, specifically because they deserve that. Later on in the day, I made an effort to connect with each one of those boys and do the exact same thing and just tell them how grateful I was that they were patient with me, that they included me in that time, and that I will endeavor to be a better person, a better father for them. So, what kind of relationship do I have with my family today in sobriety? I have one. That's how relationships work. That's how they are supposed to function. These are biblical tenets. We call each other out. We talk to each other. We confess. We share. And we endeavor to be better, for ourselves and by extension for everyone around us. And to that end, I am probably the most grateful guy that I can share that I can have those moments and send my children on their way with memories like that. It works. It works. It works if we work it, friends. One day at a time. So, stop button. Have a great weekend. I love you guys, and I'm cheering you on. Take care.